Hello, my name is Bumi, and you're welcome to Moment with Liz. And today we're going to be starting a topic that has to do with ourself. When we talk about ourselves, we talk about the self, our self-esteem, our self-concept, our social self, our self-knowledge, self-understanding. And that leads to happy life if we can manage all this perfectly. So let's start with self-esteem. What do we mean by self-esteem? Self-esteem affects our social, mental, and physical health. Self-esteem is described as a thought or feelings or understanding about ourselves. It involves the level of confidence that we have in ourselves. It involves the respect we give ourselves. It's it entails the ability that we have in things that we can do in our capacity, and it has to do with the values that we hold, the belief that we hold, and the morals that we hold, and the evaluations of ourselves. All this heavily depends on how we compare ourselves to the world around us, to people, task, external informations. A feeling of competence, identity, a sense of belonging, and a feeling of security. You know, it is very important to build a very healthy self-esteem if we want to maintain happiness. So, ability to accept our strength is needed when we want to have this healthy self-esteem. Ability to accept our weakness as well, acknowledge your weakness and deal with it. Ability to express your need, ability to accept compliments, ability not to hold negative criticism personally all the time. You know, ability to say no or yes if we have to say no or yes and stand by our no or yes, and ability to reappraise ourselves every time if we have to change our no to yes and or our yes to no. It should not be static, it shouldn't be rigid, it doesn't have to be written on marble. Things that we say yes or no to, because sometimes if we know the depth of what we're saying yes to, we might change our mind to say. So other things that we can do to build a healthy self-esteem for a happy life is to learn how to accept compliments, like I said, and start a gratitude journal. Write things that you are grateful for. Write it down, say it out, and think of yourself as a friend of yourself, and love yourself. When you do all this, we'll know that we'll appreciate ourselves, and our esteem will be intact or boosted. uh we should increase our feelings of value of ourselves. We should increase the willingness to try new things. We should increase to reach out for new goals. We should increase the respect that we have for ourselves as well. You know, and we should, with all this, we will know that we will have increase in the feeling of being secured. We don't need anybody to make us to feel secured. We don't need validation of anybody necessarily every time to make ourselves feel secured by ourselves. Because, like I said, your self-concept, your self-esteem, your self-understanding, your values is from within yourself. you know if we put it on another person's hand, that means the level of standard of that person is the level that we're going to be operating on, and that might not make us to have a real happy life, not faking it. you know Self-esteem is very fragile, and that is why we are supposed to be very careful. And sometimes self-esteem brings out mixed effects on well-being. You know, furthermore, when we're talking about this self-esteem, we're talking about social values, we're talking about belief that has to do sometimes with religion or spirituality. We're talking about abilities, and we're talking about reaching our goals. And other side of it, we're talking about the post self of ourself, the future and possible self ourself, and dealing with the present self. We are in our present self. We're trying to sort out things on our past. We're trying to figure out things in our future. So ability to balance all this really will have great impact on our self-esteem. And with all these that I've put together, this is just the intro and the beginning of this conversation about self-esteem and the self-concept and all other the self that we're going to be talking about. So subsequently, we'll be elaborating on other aspects of self. Until next time, once again, my name is Bumi, and self-care is very important. Continue to have a moment with Liz. Bye.